Let's see. Check, check. All right, mic is on. Cool, cool.
This is peppermint.
I can see the comments and shit as they come in.
Where's the other oil? Do you know? Is that the one? Okay, there's one right here. It's okay. It's okay. So I'm gonna put it all down here. So it's okay. Sorry, I'm at the moment.
I'm gonna take a little bit of wine too.
Shit. I'll take a little sip myself. More you good.
I'm good. All right, it's gonna be a good one today, y'all. Good one. Well, first off, we gonna start. I'm just gonna go right into it. So I came across some USCs today, United States codes, in reference to U.S. citizens. Just to, I like to get a little confirmation if we're doing things the right path. You know what I'm saying? If we're going on the right direction. So, before we do anything, let's read up on this right here. This is dealing with naturalization. All right, this is the policy manual from the United States Citizenship and Immigration Services. All right, volume 12, going into chapter 3, USC authority to naturalize. Oh, let's make sure the screen share, bam. So let me go back so y'all can see what I was showing prior. But this is what it is right here. All right. All right. So chapter 3, the authority to naturalize. It has long been established that Congress has the exclusive authority under its constitutional power to establish a uniform rule of naturalization and to enact legislation under which citizenship may be conferred upon persons before 1991. Naturalization within the United States was a judicial function exercised since 1790 by various courts designated in statutes enacted by Congress under its constitutional power to establish a uniform rule of naturalization. As of October 1st, 1991, Congress transferred the naturalization authority to the Attorney General, now the Secretary of DHS, Department of Homeland Security. All right, so USCIS is authorized to perform such acts as are necessary to properly implement the Secretary's authority in certain cases, and an applicant for naturalization may choose to have the oath of allegiance administered by USCIS, which is the United States Citizenship and Immigration Services, or by an eligible court with jurisdiction. Eligible courts may choose to have exclusive authority to administer the oath of allegiance. All right, so to naturalize, to properly become a U.S. citizen, you have to take an oath of allegiance before administered by a immigration service person or a court with jurisdiction. If you haven't done that, hey, I'm doing a live. Okay. Yeah, that's fine, baby. Okay, love you too. Peace. Okay. Cool. So, if you haven't gone through the process of going before USCIS agent or court where you've taken an oath, when you've taken an oath to the United States, you're not a U.S. citizen. Right? Now, here are the laws that's going to confirm what I'm saying, or I should say the statutes. This is going to get good. You're going to see what I'm talking about. First thing right here is, it's funny too, they call it USC Title 18, Section 911.
Holy shit.
Section 911, Citizen of the United States. 911, y'all. 911. Y'all know 18 is 9, so it's 911. Whoever falsely and willfully represents himself to be a citizen of the United States shall be fined under this title or imprisoned not more than 3 years or both. I'm gonna read that again. Did you get what that? Yeah. Did you get what that just said just now?
Yep.
We're gonna go slow.
That's crazy.
Matter of fact, we're gonna go back. Let's go back. Right? Let's go back to the policy. What's the policy for immigration services?
You have to be sworn in.
You have to take. Yeah, you have to be.
Oath of allegiance.
Right. You got to take an oath of allegiance before agent of the immigration agent, or before a court, an officer of the court, meaning before a judge. You have to take an oath of allegiance. Once you do that, you sever your original oath to your mother country. Right? So I haven't done that. I haven't taken an oath. You taking an oath?
Hell no.
I was born here on this continent though, but I never needed to take an oath. Right? So if you haven't taken this oath, you are not a United States citizen. Now let's go back to Title 18, 911. 911, emergency. Whoever falsely and willfully represents himself to be a citizen of the United States shall be fined under this title or imprisoned not more than 3 years or both. That's first thing. We're going to move to the second statute. This is Title 18, U.S. Code 914, creditors of the United States. Right? This people talking about they sovereign, I'm a creditor, I'm a secure party creditor, right? Whoever falsely personates any true and lawful holder of any share or sum in the public stocks or debt of the United States, or any person entitled to any annuity, dividend, pension, wages, or other debt due from the United States, meaning the United States owes you, and under color of such false personation, under color, like color of law, under color of such false personation, transfers or endeavors to transfer such public stock or any part thereof, or receives or endeavors to receive the money of such true and lawful holder thereof, or the money of any person really entitled to receive such annuity, dividend, pension, wages, or other debt, shall be fined under this title or imprisoned not more than 5 years or both. What that's saying pretty much is, if you are claiming to be artificial like black, impersonating a U.S. citizen, then you're claiming to be the registered owner or the heir of the estate, which they made through the birth certificate, then you're also impersonating a creditor. Not to say that you're not a creditor, but a creditor of the United States is not a United States citizen. I'm going to say that one more time. A creditor of the United States is not a United States citizen. An American citizen or an American national is a creditor of the United States, aka indigenous peoples, are creditors. So if you're not in your proper person, and if you haven't properly registered, or say authenticated the birth certificate all the way up to federal, then one, you're still a U.S. citizen, or you're impersonating one, if you're not in your proper person. And two, if you're not in your proper person, then there's no way you could be a creditor of the United States. And if you're not a creditor, then that's also penalties that come with that. Just so y'all know, this is the most important one. Because now we're talking about business, commerce. What you think so far?
That's crazy, but I gotta take him. I gotta pick him up, man.
Oh, okay. Safe travels.
Yep.
Enjoy exercising your religious freedoms. So, with that being said, right? This one is Title 46, subsection 50501. Entities deemed citizens of the United States. See, now we went from citizens or people who are claimed to be U.S. citizens to now we're dealing with entities. Okay? In this subtitle, let's see what we got so far. Actually, upside down. All we have to do is declare who we are on the record. There's no need to expatriate. Only reason you would need to expatriate is if you've taken the oath before an immigration officer or a court or officer of the court having jurisdiction, meaning a court officer of a court of the United States. All right. If you haven't done those two things, then you are not naturalized and you are not a citizen of the United States. But if you are claiming to be Black, African American, stateless, then you are impersonating one. And we just read 911, the emergency. All right. So if you're not yourself, then you're being fake. And there's penalties for being fake by law. Just letting you know that by law, there's penalties for being fake. Now, also, this is important too, because now we're talking about trust, right? The implications of having a trust. Now, wouldn't registering it with the Secretary of the State of the corporation, wouldn't that put you under the jurisdiction? Let's find out. In this subtitle, a corporation, partnership, or association, which is how we function, is deemed to be a citizen of the United States only if the controlling interest, a state, is owned by citizens of the United States. I just read from immigration, their policy manual, what you have to do to be a United States citizen. If you haven't done that, you are not a United States citizen. We're talking about entities now. A corporation, partnership, or association is deemed to be a citizen of the United States only if the controlling interest is owned by citizens of the United States. And we know how to be citizens of the United States, right? However, if the corporation, partnership, or association is operating a vessel in the coastwise trade, at least 75% of the interest must be owned by citizens of the United States. And when they say coastwide trade, meaning that you're functioning as a subcontractor through a company, and that company is a citizen of the United States, meaning that corporation, right? So what will be an example of that? What companies are citizens of the United States? McDonald's, J.C. Penney's, Sears, Foot Locker, the library, county court, Jamba Juice, Emerald City Smoothie, Veggie Grill. These are all examples of citizens of the United States because they're all domestic entities under the jurisdiction of the United States. Why? Because the controlling interest is owned by citizens of the United States. And if you are contracting with an entity that is a citizen of the United States and you're utilizing their vehicles, let's say to do a coast-wide trade, like maybe trucking, at least 75% of the interest must be owned by citizens of the United States. That means if you're operating in that capacity, the most you can get out of that is 25% interest, which is not majority, which means you don't have the final say so. See what I'm saying? Cut out the middleman. Now, additional requirements for corporations. In this subtitle, a corporation is deemed to be a citizen of the United States only if, in addition to satisfying the requirements in subsection A, so on top of what we just read through, it is incorporated under the laws of the United States or a state. 1. Number 2, its chief executive officer by whatever title and the chairman of its board of directors are citizens of the United States. And no more of its directors are non-citizens than a minority of the number necessary to constitute a quorum. Do you understand what that means? That would mean that if you had more U.S. citizens, let's say in your indigenous organization, than actual indigenous peoples, then that organization is owned by the United States, meaning it's a U.S. citizen. The entity is a U.S. citizen. Now, if you incorporate your trust under the laws of the United States or a state, then it is also a United States citizen. But let's go further down, y'all. Not done yet. Not done. Because now what happens is you have to determine the determination of controlling corporate interests. Let's continue to read further. The controlling interest in a corporation is owned by citizens of the United States under subsection A only if title to the majority of the stock in the corporation is vested, meaning it's fixed, in citizens of the United States, free from any trust or fiduciary obligation in favor of a person not a citizen of the United States. Is that clear, y'all? Is that clear? Do you understand why trust is so important? Because irregardless of registering or incorporating or doing business with the state, as indigenous peoples, as peoples who are not citizens of the United States, we still have a controlling interest as Moors to our estate. Why? Because they are the trustees. You got your private and you got your public. If you want to operate in the public, guess who you got to deal with? You got to deal with those de facto public officials. Right? Fake lawfully, but actually real in terms of action, in terms of manifestation, in terms of real-time existence. They are real. But it's only a name only, meaning it's only a figment of the mind, meaning we make it real. The same way you claiming to be a U.S. citizen without taking an oath of allegiance before an immigration officer or officer of the court of the United States, it's in your mind. You making it real. I'm a U.S. citizen. You're making it real. And it's not real. We were never citizens of the United States. You know why? Because we are descendants of Africans. Although we weren't born in Africa, we descend, right? Those are our cousins. But we are Americans. We've been on this continent. We haven't been, well, we've been on this continent and then we branched out everywhere else. But this is home for us, not Africa. That's our cousin's estate. We have interests over here. This is where we at. But if you want to pretend to be a United States, knowing damn well now, after watching this feed, don't say you don't know, or don't say you didn't. Don't say that no one told you that. And not that I'm telling you, I'm reading what the law is stating. That if you haven't gone through the process of taking that oath of allegiance publicly administered before an agent or officer of either immigration or court of the United States, then you're not a U.S. citizen, yo. You're actually in a state of emergency because you know why? You're impersonating a U.S. citizen. And that can cost you anywhere from what was this? You can be fined, who knows how much the fine is, or you can be imprisoned, or both. So do you comprehend now people who claim to be sovereign citizens, right? But are still claiming to be black, right? U.S. citizens. So you're committing fraud on top of fraud because you're, one, claiming to be a U.S. citizen, which is fraud. Then on top of that, you're claiming to be a creditor to the corporate United States, which, like I said, is not untrue. It is true, but you can only be a creditor in your proper person. And only indigenous peoples can be creditors of the United States. You ain't know that? You ain't know that the Moors are the ones that helped build the United States? You didn't know that the Moors were on both sides of the war? We were on the Union side and the Confederate side. We were both fighting each other. So once you grasp that in your mind, this is why no one can arbitrarily deprive you of your nationality. You don't think the agents or the people who are holding these offices, you don't think they know what I'm reading right now? Yeah. Okay. You know what I'm saying? You don't think they know what I'm reading right now? You don't think they haven't read the policy on immigration? Like, come on, y'all. Ain't nothing I'm saying. This is written, right? This is what's in place. So whoever falsely or willfully represents himself to be a citizen of the United States, himself or herself to be a citizen of the United States, shall be fined under this title or imprisoned not more than 3 years or both. So stop faking it, right? And this is why it's so hard as a U.S. citizen to get what you want to get, because you're faking it. It'll be a lot easier to get it if you're back in your proper person. Being back in your proper person, okay? And that is being a Moorish American. You have a nationality. You understand what I'm saying? Excuse me. Excuse me 1 second, y'all. Breathe, man. Breathe. Energy. I'm gonna have to take my man out after this one. Okay. Where we at so far? Well, if you do studies on military, what you'll find out is the military are fully aware of who we are as people, and they have orders, you know what I'm saying, to protect us. This is congressional record, so I'm just saying, at this point, like the prophet said, if you don't do anything else, declare your nationality. Because if you don't declare who you are, if you don't make thoroughly clear who you are, then the assumption is you are a U.S. citizen. And if the assumption is, or the presumption is, that you are a U.S. citizen and you don't have anything to say in objection to that, but you haven't gone through the naturalization process, now you've just voluntarily committed fraud because you didn't take the oath of allegiance to the United States. Therefore, you can't be a citizen of the United States. Our ancestors helped establish the United States, so there's no way we could ever be the citizens or subjects of something we created. That would be like I create my daughter, but my daughter is my mother. Like I take, you know what I'm saying? Like I do what my daughter's telling me to do, not the other way around. Or like she's guiding, you know, not to say that she doesn't do that, but you understand what I'm saying from a chain of command standpoint. I've been here a little bit longer in terms of physically in this time period anyway. So, you know what I'm saying? I can guide her through the process. But to imagine if I just completely turned into her age and then she turned into my age, to where she's the adult, mature, has all the experiences, and I'm just like, you see what I'm saying? So that's essentially what's happening. Okay? So if you are not yourself, you're impersonating a citizen of the United States. So this isn't black and white. Who are you? You need to make clear who you are. And no one can tell you who you are except yourself. That's why the prophet said, study, study, study. Not to show the prophet approve, not to show any grand sheik approve, but to show yourself, to show self approve, to show that self can stand on their square and be firm on the law and enforce the Constitution. But you can't enforce the Constitution as a U.S. citizen because you're not one. 13th Amendment, Section 12 will state that we're not citizens. We cannot be citizens. So the mere fact that Congress, right, has the power to delegate who has the authority to naturalize. Now, understanding that naturalization, who can be naturalized in the first place? Let's find out. Actually, let me see here. Who can be naturalized? Oh, let's go to chapter 1, purpose and background. Let's see here. They got customer service. Oh, I see here. Let's go with immigrants. So check this out. The Immigration and Nationality Act makes visas available to qualified foreign nationals, okay, who will contribute to the economic growth of the United States by investing in U.S. businesses and creating jobs for U.S. workers. Congress created this employment-based fifth preference immigrant visa category, EB-5, to benefit the U.S. economy by providing an incentive for foreign capital investment that creates or preserves U.S. jobs. So this is how you can see foreign nationals like the 7-Elevens and, you know, people of different nationalities. They come over here, they build communities, they open up businesses. You know why? Because they're creditors. They're acting in the capacity of creditors because they're investing, they're creating work. They're not just coming here to work. They're creating work. Coming from who? Foreign nationals. So you have to understand, when it comes to America, okay, nationals is where it's at. You have to be a national. Now, this is dealing with foreign nationals. Imagine if we're talking about American nationals, indigenous nationals. Anywho, let's go back. Chapter 12. You know what? I could leave that. Let's go right here. What classes of people can be naturalized into the U.S.? Let's see. See here. See here. Let me go over this fact sheet. See what's going on here. So, just so y'all comprehend what and who U.S. citizenship applies to, dealing with naturalization. Because the only way to get into the United States as a U.S. citizen is you have to naturalize. Unless, what's the unless? What's the exception? Maybe you come from a people who were living on this landmass before there was even such a thing called the United States. That could be an exception. Right. Naturalization fact sheet. The United States has a long history of welcoming immigrants from all parts of the world. During the last decade, U.S. Citizenship and Immigration Services welcomed more than 6.6 million naturalized citizens into the fabric of our nation. In fiscal year 2013, 777,416 individuals were naturalized. And in fiscal year 2014, 654,949 people were naturalized. Deciding to become a U.S. citizen can be a very important milestone in an immigrant's life. Individuals must demonstrate a commitment to the unifying principles that bind us as Americans, and in turn will enjoy many of the rights and privileges that are fundamental to U.S. citizenship. Now, I just want you guys to know, American citizen, and a seer says this all the time, being an American citizen and being a U.S. citizen are two different things. Prime example, people from Haiti, right? People in Haiti, are people in Haiti United States citizens? Are they U.S. citizens? Are people in Haiti U.S. citizens? Are people in Jamaica U.S. citizens? The answer would be no, they are not. However, Haiti's in America, ain't it though? Jamaica's in America, ain't it though? As an example. But those people living on those so-called countries, right? There'll be one will be called Haitians, other one will be called Jamaicans. Not U.S. citizens. One is Haitian, one is Jamaican. Right? According to today's modern colonized nationalities, right? One is Haitian, one is Jamaican. Neither are U.S. citizens, but however, both are still in America. So you know what they are? A Haitian is an American citizen. A Jamaican, actually no. According to Jamaica's constitution, Jamaica is actually subject to the Queen of England. So I'm going to take that back. Jamaica is actually not an American citizen. Jamaicans are actually not American citizens. They are subjects of the Queen, subjects of the Crown. Argentina, people from Argentina, people from Bolivia, people from the Philippines. These are American citizens, not United States citizens. American citizen, United States citizen. And a citizen means you're a member. All right. So if you are a member of a state that has a true, organic, authentic nationality, then guess what? That makes you true, real, and organic and authentic. But if you're claiming to come from a corporate state, claiming a corporate nationality, then you are 2D. You're like this. You're 2D. You're not 3D. You're not 4D. You're not 5D. You're just 2D. You're flat. All right? So understanding that, okay, naturalization applies to immigrants. Now, reading Title 8, we know that immigrants or aliens aren't necessarily stateless peoples. They are foreign nationals. Right? So, once again, either you're an American citizen, like the prophet said, true American citizen, or you are a U.S. citizen, naturalized, adopted. That's what naturalization means. Naturalize means to adopt. Adopt. You're not organic to that. So the only way you can be a true U.S. citizen is to be adopted in, which means that you ain't got no business wanting to be a U.S. citizen. Because you don't have to be adopted into something you're naturally born from, like the Moorish Empire. But let's continue. So, the prophet asked us to help him in his great missionary work to uplift fallen humanity. Help him. That's what he asked. He asked for help. Mission. So I want to look up a couple terms. All right? I want to look up a couple terms. We could close some of these things out. They're no longer needed. We're going to look at mission. Mission. Now, obsolete. The act or an instance. Oh, crap. No, take care. The act or an instance of sending. 2. A ministry commissioned by a religious organization or propagate. Oh, I'm saying, let me start that over again. Got tongue tied. 2. A ministry commissioned by a religious organization to propagate its faith or carry on humanitarian work. Organized a mission to the heathen natives. That's what they said, right? So the doctrine of discovery was a mission, right, put into writing and published and proclaimed by the Pope to show us the ways of their Lord Jesus Christ. That was their mission, right? So we're talking about ecclesiastics. We're talking about divine law, all right? Religious law. And when we're talking about religion and law, we're talking about a deed of trust. How a deed of trust is being utilized, manipulated, used. So in that particular instance, the deed of trust, known as the doctrine of discovery, was used against us, the natives, the true natives, the Moors. Okay? Number 3, a body of persons sent to perform a service or carry on an activity, such as a group sent to a foreign country to conduct diplomatic or political negotiations, a member of a trade mission, a permanent embassy or legation, a team of specialists or cultural leaders sent to a foreign country, served on a mission to improve agricultural methods. Let me keep going. 4, a specific task with which a person or a group is charged. Their mission was to help victims of the disaster. Our mission to uplift fallen humanity. B1, a definite military, naval, or aerospace task. A bombing mission, a space mission, a flight operation on an aircraft or spacecraft in the performance of a mission to Mars, a pre-established and often self-imposed objective or purpose statement of the company's mission. This one is a biggie. A pre-established and often self-imposed, right? Because I imposed the mission upon myself to help in the great work of uplifting fallen humanity. That was self-imposed. No one forced that on me. I happily accepted the charge, right? And so now I'm study to show myself approved. That way I can help in mission to help further the original mission, which is to uplift fallen humanities, right? Because the work gets passed down from predecessor to successor. So the prophet is my ancestor, my brother. Therefore, the work gets passed down because it's about the energy, it's about the heart. Do I really feel? Am I really convicted to take on this mission? So when people talk about, I want to nationalize and, I want to become a Moor, that's first ground. Declare your nationality. Learn the knowledge of self. That's cool. But then from there, the prophet also asked to take your place in the affairs of man. Your place is that which what? Uplifts humanity. Because there was a point in time when we were feeding the world with knowledge, with structure, architecture, a way of doing things, a way of living, a way of thinking. And so the prophet said we're going to go back to feeding the world again with literature, with art, with free thought, with civics, with the understanding and the proper implementation of law to help better your life and the life of your family, so you can continue the great mission. And because we have a mission, right? So everyone who's claimed their nationality of their own free will because they saw through the facts of studying the law and the history that, oh, I'm a Moor, I'm indigenous, this is my inheritance. Then guess what? You took the charge of being what? A missionary. And the only way you could be a dirty Moor is if you're going to have this knowledge and now you're going to figure out a way on how to swindle other people, how to take advantage of other people who are earnest in their heart, who want to get this information, but you just want to make notes, or you just want to find a way to use another being as a stepping stool to get what you want. These are the lower selves of man. Okay? That's not what the prophet was dealing with. So if you've elected in your heart to be who you say you are, which is a Moorish American, then you've also elected to take on that mission. You've also elected to become a missionary to help uplift fallen humanity. Because now once you're awake, only thing you want to, well, I know for me, when I woke, the only thing I wanted to do was wake up everyone around me. That was the only thing I wanted to do after I was awake, make improvements in my life and wake up the others around me. So that in itself, the conviction in my heart to want to do that is what makes me a missionary. But we're going to look up real quick, right? We got mission. We're going to look up missionary. What is a missionary? A person undertaking a mission, and especially a religious mission. We comprehend now why the prophet established the Moorish Holy Temple of Science, which is a civics organization, and he reorganized and incorporated it as its corporate name, right, to the Moorish Science Temple of America. All right, which under the Religious Corporation Act. Why? Because we have a mission, a religious mission. What's the religious mission? The religious mission is to wake our people up who think they're U.S. citizens, who think they're Negro, black, and colored, who think they were dropped off of some boats from Africa. our mission is to reawaken or snap them back, to get them to think and realize, yo, that's not who I am. To be yourselves. Because other than that, all of our brothers and sisters are walking, talking, ticking time bombs. Because every day they leave their house, every day they go do commerce, not in their proper person, they are taking a risk. You're taking a risk. That's a fine and up to 3 years in prison. Every day you walk out your house. That is the risk you take. Don't think the agents and agencies of the United States aren't aware of this. They could pull that shit on anyone impersonating a U.S. citizen anytime. They can do that at any time. Because that's committing fraud. Which is why it's important for you to stand on your square. So why am I going about this message how I'm going about it? Because for one, I'm a missionary, right? I'm helping to uplift only humanity. Two, I care about my people. So I don't want y'all to be fucked up. So this is why I pull out the law. So it's not that I'm saying it. You can read with your own eyes. If you haven't gone through the naturalization process, you are not a U.S. citizen. You're impersonating one. You're in danger. They can pull the cord on you at any time. Anytime. Be yourself. Please. Be yourself. And then take your place in the affairs of men and be a missionary and help uplift fallen humanity. And don't think, oh, just because you woke, you nationalized, now you're the shit. No, you still got to work on yourself. You just are sharing your journey and experience with other Moors. I was talking to a Moor yesterday. His name is Don. All right. This brother's 21 years old. We was building in the back of my yard for like an hour, almost an hour and a half. Because you know why? He has questions on what is what. Because he feels that things are not what they appear to be. But there was no one who can validly or simply answer questions. Simple questions like the X chromosome, Y chromosome. Will we all take it from Africa? Who are the indigenous peoples? I showed this brother a picture of an Olmec head. And it's crazy because I was looking at him and I know exactly what he was experiencing because I was on that road a few years back. Oh my God, that's me. I'm not from Africa. All his questions were being open. So guess what? We exchanged numbers. We're going to be building. You see what I'm saying? Uplift fallen humanity. Are you not a missionary? Do you know how many times when I go out, how many brothers and sisters inquire? So what is this? Can you explain to me what this is about? Because they don't have a name for it, right? Unless I'm wearing my fez and they happen to know, or they just know it by a Shriner's hat, then I gotta correct them on that. But they'll always ask me, can you tell me about this? Right? I'm not talking about Europeans. I'm talking about Moors who are not really, they're still out to lunch. They don't really know fully what's going on, but they got questions. Something in them is saying, what's that? Right? So, oh, this is the point. She says, what's that? Can you explain to me what's that about? I get up out my seat. I go sit down right next to her. And I go sit down with her for 5 minutes and I break it down. This is our national headdress. This is an ancient American headdress of the ancient indigenous peoples of the Americas who look just like you and me. 2600 BCE in Corral Supe, Peru. The Chico Notre peoples. You can go look them up. You just carving on the wall with hands. That's the broad nose, thick lips. Got locks coming down their back with the crown on their head. With the 3 boxes that are in the form of a pyramid. They're 3 square boxes, by the way. Okay? And this is what I'm sharing with people. I'm like, this is our history. Not all of us came from Africa. And then I start asking questions. Where was your great-grandmother born? Oh, she was born in Mississippi. Oh, Choctaw. She was born in Alabama. Oh, Cherokee, Anuia. Tasligi. You see what I'm saying? I'm a missionary. That's why the prophet said, study, study, study. Because when you show yourself approved, then you can actually take your place in the affairs of men to do the great missionary work, which is to what? Share the knowledge you've learned. That's all it is. It's not about secret societies and groups. It's about sharing the knowledge you've attained to help uplift your fellow man. Even if that's sharing knowledge with a Caucasian people, which I do too. Because when I got my fez on and they think I'm rocking a Shriner's hat, I gotta correct them. Oh no, the Shriners were incorporated in the 1800s. Specifically, if I'm not mistaken, 1871 or 1870, if I'm right. Okay, so they didn't start rocking the fez until the 1800s. Oh, it's from the Turks. Well, the Turks didn't start rocking that until the 1700s. I just told you that fez goes back to on the walls in Corral Supe, Peru, carbon dated 2600 BCE, before Common Era, before Christ era, 2,600 years before that, right here in the Americas. And that's, oh, thank you for the history. I appreciate that. Yeah, no problem. Because I'm a missionary. So I'm going to do the work. You want knowledge? I'm going to share what I got with you. You understand what I'm saying? Because we're all missionaries. Now, I'm doing this because I want people to understand the magnitude of what we're doing. Okay? While we operate through trust and how we're able to function with the state because we have a mission. Even registering with the Secretary of State, the Secretary of State had to read the articles. He had to read the mission, or I'm sorry, she had to read the mission statement. Okay? Sunashiyama Republic has a mission statement. That's okay. I'll pull it up for you. But before we go to there, right? Emissary. This is a word I learned from watching one of his series videos. Hey man, I watch a lot of brothers, but I will tell you, some of the illest shit that I've attained is from Taj, is from Asura Alim Bey, is from Asir Dukateers, Cujo, Awol, Brother Jamal Higgs Bey, Brother Mosley Bey, etymology. Sister Zodiacus L, etymology. Brother Kamitu Bey, Brother Jonah Bey, Brother Yusuf L, Brother Taj Bey, if I say that. Sister Anad L, Sister Yafa Bey, Prince Uriel Bey, and it goes on and on and on. You know what I'm saying? Sabir Bey. I just want to thank everybody because all the information y'all put out, I've been able to just sit in that beautiful melting pot of Moorish literature and Moorish science and Moorish law and Moorish history, and I've been able to scrape off those things that I could see are not me and hold on and embrace and actually emphasize those things that are me with no doubt in my heart, no contradiction in my heart that I am my ancestors. That and many more Moors. I want to thank all y'all. Thank you. You know what I'm saying? Thank you. Thank you, thank you, thank you. When there were those who would not put this information out, who would keep it, you know what I'm saying, behind closed doors, who would keep it in a sense where you'll only get this information if you are a part of our organization. Rather than you deserve this and you deserve to know or at least hear about this because this is your birthright. Thank all y'all, man. Thank all y'all. Y'all inspire me to want to be the best version of myself. And I know now that the best version of me on this plane is Amor. That is who I am. The best version of me on this plane is L. That's me. So I appreciate y'all for that. Because I don't know where, how I don't know how lost I would have been in the nigga juice. Real rap. So I just want to thank all y'all for that. Pharaoh of the Moors, Brother Dolo, Islam, thank you. You know what I'm saying? Everyone has played a part. Everyone. Because they too, as you can see, are missionaries. Because they've self-appointed themselves to take on the work of uplifting fallen humanity. So when they saw wrongs where like, no, it's wrong to hold this information. It's wrong to do things like that. When they felt it was wrong, they separated themselves. They built and constructed something, utilizing the knowledge they've obtained to show themselves approved, and they are furthering the work of the prophet. Those people are missionaries. And what they're doing is trying to get us to take our place in the affairs of men as missionaries. It's a lot bigger than just being, I'm an American national. It's a lot bigger than that. We got a mission. We got a mission. All right? We have a divine mission. And we come from a people ancient that don't have a birth date. They've always been doing this. Everyone who needed to be saved or needed some type of information or a way of figuring something out, they came to the Moors. Whether you was from New Guinea, whether you was from wherever you was at, you are a Moor. And wherever you will find Moors, you are in the Moorish Empire. You are in Al-Marak. Maghreb Al-Aqsa, Morocco, the extreme west. You are in it. Or you could just choose to not be yourself and pretend to be an artificial Negro black colored 14th Amendment U.S. citizen. Those are the options. And this is why the prophet said, if you don't do anything else, even if you don't push the mission, save yourself at least. Save your family at least. Declare your nationality. Make it clear that, hey, I've never, and mind you, I'm dropping jewels right now, right? Because if you're putting a declaration of nationality together, what should be the basis of where you're coming from? Hey, now, I was born to this continent, but I've never officially gone through the naturalization process. I've never taken an oath of allegiance to relinquish my divine allegiance to my mother country, which is a perpetual state of Morocco. Therefore, if I continue to pretend to be a U.S. citizen, then I am committing fraud. Therefore, I must correct the record and set it straight and declare that I am an aborigine to the Americas. I am indigenous. I am of Moorish consanguinity. The United States came into existence on March 1st, 1781, via the Articles of Confederation. The history of my ancestors predates that. I can pull treaties all the way from 1491, dealing with the Empire of Morocco at the time, Marocco. So due to the fact that I have never fully gone through the naturalization process, but I have ties to this continent via just solely and just sanguinis through my Moorish pedigree, I declare that I am so and so L, so and so Bay, in alignment and in honor with my ancestors, in accordance with the Holy Covenant, which you'll find in the more one-on-ones. I forgot the question, but what is the Holy Covenant? Exodus 20:12 in your Bible. Honor thy mother and thy father, that thy days on the earth land may be long and plentiful, that the Lord thy God hath giveth thee. That is the Holy Covenant. Honor your ancestors. Be your ancestors. Think like your ancestors. Look like your ancestors. And be proud like your ancestors. Don't be in your natural habit, feeling funny. Somebody look at you. You know how many times I walk out? You know how many times I walk out in public and I see people coming towards me and they can barely hold back their laughs? Like, no lie, like, or like they're like, you know what I'm saying? As they're walking by. And then as they walk back, they kind of let it out. Like, do I take offense to that? No. You know why? Because I know my mindset is, Father, forgive them. They know not what they do. You laugh at me because I'm in my natural habit. You laugh at me because I'm honoring my mother and my father. The laugh is on you. I don't take offense because I know better, because I study. So that makes me feel, oh, she's laughing at me. Oh, he's laughing at me. Oh, maybe I shouldn't come out of my natural habit. No, that should inspire you to rock out even harder. How many more laughs can you get? Because there's nothing funny about honoring your ancestors. There's nothing funny about that. Okay? Emissary. One designated as the agent of another. One designated as the agent of another. Representative. A secret agent. Secret agent, man. Secret agent, man. Secret. You remember that song, Austin Powers? Secret Agent, man. Secret agent. This is why we come from a private ecclesiastical jurisdiction, a holy, a divine jurisdiction. It's a secret, y'all. Not that it's a secret like how the Masons and all these other societies have done it in terms of they're just, all to themselves. No, it's a secret, meaning we're functioning, we're operating, we're seamlessly, you know what I'm saying? We hop in the matrix when we need to, but for the most part, we're in our private capacity. We're a secret. Yeah, you may walk out, see me in my natural habit, but other than that, you don't know anything about me. You don't know how my status is set up. You don't know how I'm identified in the system. You don't know what organizations I'm associated with that are recognized to do business commercially with the state of Washington, or the governor, or the substitute bay, or that we're fully aware that due to the fact that none of us went through the naturalization process, that we are not U.S. citizens, and to actually pretend to be U.S. citizens will be committing fraud. And so therefore, by the fact that we are competent and sound mind, we choose to no longer commit fraud because we choose to live in righteousness, I, self-law, and master, love, truth, peace, freedom, and justice. I choose to uplift my fellow man rather than to break them down. And understand, when I say man, I'm talking about woman, because you don't have a man without woman. Everybody got a belly button. Shh. Belly button. Yeah, they could chuckle, they could laugh. And I will admit, when I first started expressing myself, I did get those little like, oh man, like I did have that little, that little thing on, that little voice in my head, like, oh man, what if people laugh? Like, how are people gonna look at me? But you know what? You do it enough times, and you confirm, you have that conviction in your heart, you know who you are, and no one can tell you who you are, because you know you are indigenous to this land. You know you have history to this land. No one can take that away from me. This is my history. So you're right. When you come up on me and you have questions about why am I dressed in my natural habit, or what does this represent, I could tell you exactly who I'm representing. I'm representing the Moorish Empire. I'm representing the old government that has always been on this continent. and expanded across the other side of the world. So that's the answer I have for people when they ask me, what does this mean? This means that I'm an emissary, right? I'm a secret agent on behalf of the Moorish Empire. Okay? You know what I'm saying? Self-appointed, self-charged, right? Through my own convictions, through the message that got sent out through the Prophet Drew Ali into various different souls that worked its way, in which their breath worked its way to my ears. And then it went into my heart. That's how that go. All right. So now I'm I'm another soldier, right? Part of the empire, a missionary, a divine being, something worth protecting, something worth creating. And then when you have divine beings who have a divine mission, who organize, create a divine organization, a divine religious corporation with a mission statement. Okay? Oh, that's what I was going to pull up, the mission statement for Sunel. So we can understand how we function. What mindset do we need to come from? Because first off, none of us are U.S. citizens. So that should be your first argument in anything. When someone's saying you are not a Moor. Oh yeah? I know in my mind I've never gone through a naturalization process. So go ahead, prove. I would like you to sit here and prove that I'm a U.S. citizen. And when you're done trying to prove, I'm going to sue your ass for defamation of character. Continue. And you just watch them sink themselves. Right? Because they don't expect us to know that in order to truly be a U.S. citizen, you have to have gone through the naturalization process. So that lets you know that European peoples are organic to the United States because the United States exists only for immigrants. That's it. That's what happened with the war. Remember, y'all? They was trying to break away from King George, right? The 13 colonies. They were trying to break away from King George. So they could do what? Come up underneath our government because they saw that how we was running things, everyone was free. Nobody was treated like a slave. Nobody was treated like poorly. Everyone had a status. As long as you know, as long as you had knowledge yourself, you were more. So nobody got mistreated. You know what I'm saying? So if I saw that and I was in a scenario where I'm being mistreated, I'm being slaved and worked, you know what I'm saying? Then yeah, I would want to be a part of something that's a lot better too. And so with that being said, that's what the war was about, right? The Revolutionary War, even though they stupidly went back to King George after the fact. The whole point of that was that the United States of America was created so that way those people who were leaving or escaping from King George, they could come underneath the umbrella of what is now in existence, the United States of America, which has a Republican form of government, right? Which is based on Islamic law, which is based on equality and free will and free determination and justice for all peoples, as long as you have your nationality, as long as you have your religious creed and your knowledge of self. And this is why only immigrants can be naturalized into the United States. Because like I said, we created the United States. We created the United States. You see what I'm saying? Yeah. Oh, we go, Aki. You know what I'm saying? We created the United States so that way immigrants could come in, not under the jurisdiction of George, and they can enjoy our way of living. And that's what we did. We adopted them in. Okay? Some of our family members didn't like that, which is why we was beefing with each other internally. Some of us were good with that. Some of us was like, nah, let them burn. Don't deal with them at all. Okay? So just keep in mind the treaty too. The treaty was more important to the United States than it was to us as Moors, right? We was already on our land running everything. So we didn't need that. We didn't need a treaty of peace and friendship between Morocco and the United States of America. The United States of America needed a treaty with Morocco, with Al Marak, with us, the empire, so they can flourish. They need us, not the other way around. This is why the United States will forever be connected to the Moorish Empire. There is no United States without the Moorish Empire. There is no them without you. But guess what? If you don't know who you are, then you just look like everyone else. You don't actually embody the accreditor of the United States. You don't actually embody an American national. You don't actually embody an American. Okay? It's that simple, y'all. It's that simple. It's really that simple. What's going to pull up? Yeah. Here we go. So how we doing so far, man? Everybody with me? I know it's a lot of information being dispensed at the moment, but just let me know if y'all with me. Let me know how y'all rocking. Okay. I saw a little comment there about Al Marak. You will not see Al Marak in the treaty. What you will see is Estados Americanos, all right, which is the American states. Estados Americanos. Okay, so this is what these lands are known as in the treaty. This is the Estados, the states, Estados Americanos. Americanos. The Almoroccans. The states of the Almoroccans. That's what they called America in the treaty. Estados Americanos. Okay? So that also lets you know, oh, this is the Almoroccan estates. Go figure. But our estates got turned into states because we got tricked into thinking that we're U.S. citizens when we're clearly the heirs or the ascendants, right, of those people that establish this government, which is in no way, shape, or fashion based in the Christian religion. You can look at that in Article 11 of the Treaty of Tripoli. That's our treaty too. But yeah, but I wanted to pull up this. Let's go. Lego. And I hope this is a very good one, man, because this is, I tell you. Let's pull this up. And I'm learning, man, organization is extremely important. You know what I'm saying? My partner, Halisi, is really showing me, teaching me a lot about organization. I thought I was all right with organization, man. Dude, like it's a lot of work, man. And this is why I truly respect the prophet, because he was a Capricorn. So like being and living with my mate and like observing how she thinks and how she like perceives things and how she operates and how she's so outgoing. You know what I'm saying? I get to like kind of sit there and reflect, like, man. So I could definitely see that aspect. That was part of the prophet, like being outgoing, being in the community, being a face. Like, yo, that's work, man. It takes a lot of energy to do that, and so just to have an appreciation of how much energy the prophet had to expend in order to get to the point of establishing the Moorish Science Temple of America as it was, only to be knocked off by his own followers, you know what I'm saying, his own members, due to jealousy, but not truly understanding the mission. They didn't understand the mission. They was about self. Oh, he's getting all the fame and glory. But he's doing the work. He's putting the energy. So he's getting back what he's putting out. What's wrong with that? Some more feel like there was something wrong with that. I was just thinking to myself, like, man, yo, like, why couldn't y'all just left him alone, yo? Like 1928, just leave him, man, just to see what he would have. Because you already know he was just getting started. But at the same token, it's okay, because he understood too that the third and fourth generation is going to be coming in with their eyes wide open, and we're going to see exactly what he did, and we're going to know exactly how to build on top of what he did to you know what I'm saying, to make that foundation as tight and sealed as possible in our nationality and our birthrights, as tight as possible. No games. Let me pull this up. Okay. Pull it up to right here. Here we go. All right. So this is, see up top here, instrument number. Instrument. This is an instrument, y'all. And I'm not talking about like a musical instrument. This is a legal instrument, right? To invoke judicial authority, yo. Okay? So this is how we go. So now, right? Okay, founded by Prophet El-Hajj Sharif Abdul Ali, Nobadru Ali, 1913, incorporated in 1928. Right? That was the work from 1913 going into 1928. When in the course of the events, right, this is on the record, this is the incorporation that was sent to the Secretary of State in Washington to properly register as a religious corporation. So everything I'm reading for you is on file, it's on record with the corporate state, right? Because we have a treaty in place, right? And we're not U.S. citizens, right? And we know this, right? Because we study. And we've shown ourselves approved, because we're not only confident in who we are, we're confident in how we present ourselves, because we are who we say we are at all times, whether in private or in public, right? We're not faking. We're not hiding. We're not, we're this over here and then we're that over there. No, we're just simply, I am that I am everywhere I go. Okay? Whether I'm in public, private, whether I'm using documentation, whether I'm operating commercially, I am that I am. Okay? So, when in the course of the events of man, it becomes necessary for one people to dissolve the political bands which have connected them with another, and to assume among the powers of the earth the separate and equal station to which the laws of nature and of nature's God entitle them. A decent respect to the opinion of man requires that they should declare the causes which impel them to the separation. Okay? And if y'all don't know, I took some things, yes, out of the Declaration of Independence. Yes, I did. So, it's speaking exactly to what is in the heart. So, what's wrong with that? Anyway, we hold these truths to be self-evident, that all men are created equal, that they are endowed by their mothers. I made certain edits, of course, you know what I'm saying? Because our mentality, I'm coming from an indigenous standpoint. So I will never put a man over a woman when the woman is holding that child for 9 months. Yes, that child has my energy in there, but their body is being constructed and crafted with no tools in the temple of the mother. So please, let's hold that in high regard, y'all. Like our ancestors did. You know what I'm saying? That's what got us far. As far as building an empire, because what empire are you going to build without a family? What government you going to have without a family? What trust you going to have without a family? The power is in family, right? Wealth is in family. Numbers, people. The more gods you have, the more miracles you can do, right? But God got to know that he or she is God, right? So, we hold these truths to be self-evident that all men are created equal, that they are endowed by their mothers with certain unalienable rights, which among these are life, security, freedom, social and economic stability, which equates to peace, Islam. Governments are instituted among men, deriving their just powers from the consent of the governed, that whenever any form of government becomes destructive to these ends, it is the right of the people to alter or to abolish it, and to institute new government, laying its foundation on such principles and organizing its powers in such form as to them is more likely to affect their life, security, freedom, social, and economic stability. Okay?
So,
hey, what's up, brother? Welcome back.
Is Mama here?
No, she went out. She'll be back a little bit.
Oh.
She's out handling some meetings.
Who's Kenty's?
He's taking a nap right now.
Mm.
Yeah, he's in the room. He'll probably be up in a little bit. Okay. If he ain't up already. If he's already up, you can let him. You can tell him he can get up. Is he already? Is he up?
No, he's still out.
Okay. Let him get up on his own accord. He was tired. He was tired. That boy been up since 7 a.m.
Jesus Christ, been up for
That
8
boy,
o'clock.
that boy been up since the roosters. Okay. Now, see, competent people will tell you what it is, right? I will tell you who I am, and I will tell you what my organization is, what my state is, and what we do, right? So you just put that on paper. Sunashi Amaru Republic is an ecclesiastical Moorish society of autochthon peoples of America, known by many ancient titles being Moabite, Moor, Moroccan, Asiatic, Olmec, Ancient American, Mer, Aztec, Maya, Iroquois, Algonquin, Montauk, Mohammedan, Taino, Arawak, Lenape, Cherokee, Seminole, Choctaw, Chickasaw, Creek, original mound builders, created on 4/19/2015. Right? And by these articles in the ancestral estate of the Samal Maghrib of Maxum, right? North America, geographical coordinates. South America, geographical coordinates. Central America, geographical coordinates. Because geo, in the geographical, geo means earth. Okay? Geo. You're getting the graphics of the earth. We have an inheritance to the earth. From there, everything that's sitting on the earth comes along with that inheritance. But it's about the earth first. It's always about mother first, okay? Now, this thing about, right, missionary, right? So what's your mission? What's my mission, right? Right, geographic coordinates. And this province today, Washington, a republic, right? The mission of Sunashi Amaru Republic is to teach our people the ancient religion of our ancestors, Islam, I self-law, and master. Establish a way of living in harmony according to our ancestral customs and usages. Transfer conveyance to property in the name of Sunashi Amaru Republic, including all subordinate organizations of Sunashi Amaru Republic. Establish a thriving and self-sustaining economic community. Gain assets and secure wealth for the posterity of Neumfa, which is the people. So this is the mission of my state. I am a missionary. I have a mission that I voluntarily agreed to take on. And then I voluntarily put that on the record along with my other tribal members. Right? Right? And then our members put their names on the record. Right? This is all public record, so ain't no reason to hide anything. You see what I'm saying? Oops. Let's pull that back down. See what I'm saying? Any other amendments to these articles can only be made by an appointed vizier of Sunashi Amaru Republic, pursuant to the Articles of Confederation, pursuant to the Constitution for Sunashi. And she's not here. She went out.
Whose Chinese food is that in the refrigerator?
It's Indian food. You hungry?
Uh-huh.
Okay, you could put we could put some in there. It's all vegan, so you can put some in the oven.
Does she have her laptop with her?
Yes.
I don't know.
She always takes
Can
her
you check
laptop
her email?
everywhere.
Yeah.
Anyway, what was she about? Sorry for interrupting.
Oh no, yeah, no, it's correct.
Oh, I'm in. Oh, I know I'm in.
Yeah, I'm doing it live right now. So,
Oh, sorry.
but yeah,
Hello.
but yeah, y'all can warm up the food. It's all vegan, like I said. So you don't gotta worry about no meat.
Okay.
When did she leave?
I dropped her like around 12, but she's going to meet people, so she said she'll be back.
Good look at. I got another spider bite. You remember my hand? How it was like swollen? I got that scar. I got one right here. And it used to be like.
You know what type of spider it was?
I'm not gonna die. No, like I have this rash around it, and then a smaller rash inside. You can like kind of see the like red part.
I do see it.
I can't spend the night at my cousin's house anymore. I always get spider bites over there.
Yeah.
Well,
That's definitely not a good look.
not at all.
Man. Now, like I said, people make mistakes, right? So, pursuant to the Articles of Confederation, pursuant to the Constitution for Sunil Shiamu Republic, yes, we have our own constitution. Pursuant to the Treaty of Peace and Friendship, 1786, and as you can see, the boo-boo is supposed to be 1836. That's okay. We're humans. We're not perfect. We're working to perfection. So we make mistakes. As long as we mentally know what we're talking about, though, and we can articulate that, right? Pursuant to the Zodiac Constitution, AA 222141, which is our... Let's talk about this AA 222141 for a second. This is our foreign diplomat number, y'all. This is our emissary number. Emissary number. Okay? Because this Constitution speaks to us and our history and our tenets and laws that we govern ourselves by. So does the bylaws and Constitution of the Moorish Science Temple of America. Okay? So all these things are our laws. So we can take from our laws and build and establish a foundation for ourselves to build ourselves upon. We can do that. Okay? So, on top of that, this declaration is made under the law. This declaration is made under the penalties of the perjury and stands as a certification of the formation of this Aboriginal American state as a matter of the law and of the fact. Right? I, Noble Kuel, do affirm that a meeting of the members of the Moorish Science Temple of America, because we are members by blood, right? You must declare who you are by blood. By blood. Okay? This was the location the meeting was held. For that purpose, the following members are appointed advisors according to the rules and usages of such. Mansa Bey, Ajay Bey, Rael Bey, Chikawa Bey, Alicia L., Renee Bey, Lissa Bey, Amara L., Leah Bey, Mansa Bey, Amir L. Also a mistake here, which of course you can always make your amendments, which we're working on an amendment, right? Ali Bey, Caden Bey, El Harik Bey, Ikramula Bey, Neil Bey, and Sunashi Amru Republic adopted as its corporate name, Sunashi Amru Republic. And at said meeting, this affiant acted as consul. So this wasn't just something it was agreed upon by my members, right? That's the only way we get this seal. This seal has to be done by everybody. Everyone has to agree to one to seal it. Then we got it notarized, okay? Right? This trust instrument was drafted on this date, the second day, 11th cycle of the year 1432 Moorish calendar, Gregorian calendar, June 3rd, 2017. Okay? Of course, you can see it's a black and white copy. There's a notary stamp, signature, thumbprint. Okay? On the record. So this is what the Secretary of State has on the record. So when we say we're emissaries or we're consecrated missionaries, we have a mission to uplift fallen humanity, like we actually really do. And so do you, but you actually have to really take that mission on and be serious about it. Otherwise, if you're just in, I want to declare my nationality so I can get out a parking ticket, so I could not have to deal with policy enforcers, or so I can be an asshole to policy enforcers, or I can be an asshole to people just because I know more than they do. It's not going to work for you. This is for the pure of heart. I'm not saying like, oh, I'm holy, and it's not that. I'm not perfect. I'm striving for perfection, though. I want to be perfect. I want to perfect myself. Right? And that's what I can be true to. So that's all I can speak on that one, right? And then, hold on. You know what? Let me just do it like this, because so I think it's in our I think it's extremely in our best interest to not impersonate U.S. citizens anymore. My suggestion, of course. A personal right claim. Honestly, what everyone should do is order a certified copy of the Zodiac Constitution from their, from the Library of Congress. Have that certified copy in your possession, because you know why you have it. You know, because you know who you are. You know what applies to you. Yeah, we all must tie ourselves back to the Moorish state. Islam. Uh, yup. Absolutely. Gold X Mind TV, Islam. Definitely. If you like to get us, connect us with Brother Taj Abdullah, I'm all up for that. Let's uplift fallen humanity. Yeah, let's do it. Someone said, "What about us descendants of King of Africa, Sony Ali Bur?" Once again, what you're gonna need to understand is that us as Moors, wherever we are, it is Morocco. So I understand what you're saying, but you also got to understand that our empire expanded from the west to the east. Our empire was based on we, W-E, west and east. It was a we thing, all right? So we conquered both sides. So wherever we are, that is the Moorish Empire. Whether that's in America, whether that's in so-called Timbuktu, Africa, it's still Moorish dominions. We never looked at things as separate, like this over here, that over there. You gotta remember, the continents were all one. It was all Pangea, or Pangae, or Mu, or Asia, right? So if it's all Asia and we're all Asiatics, you see what I'm saying? Then we're still those same people. Guess what? Ali is my ancestor too. You see what I'm saying? That's my ancestor too. I ascend from that ancestor as well. I'm just going through the chat right now, seeing the questions and everything, see how chat's going on. Yeah, we got to claim our state. So no, let's pull up. I'm gonna pull up too. I know exactly what I'm gonna pull up. All right, so we're gonna go through the Libra code. right? Libra code of how many codes in here? 157. 157 codes, right? Libra code of 1863. Let's go. Okay. Wait, what's over here? No, that's the wrong one. Oh, here we go. Just going through that. Okay. Oh, another thing, right? Before I go into that, we talk about truly being creditors of the United States, right? So due to the fact that I could never be a U.S. citizen by default, being that my ancestors were here before the creation of such an entity, that I am the heir of a creditor of that, because whatever they're utilizing, meaning the United States, they're utilizing what was left behind by my ancestors. Same goes for you. So, yeah. Got that. Give me a second. Pull this out. All right. Before I get into that. So this, right? This is part of what makes you a creditor. This is the first step. Okay? It's part of the process of you being a holder in due course. This is part of the process. You know what I'm saying? You get your document sealed and everything. That's part of the process to being a creditor. But then you got to do what? Affidavit of reversion of estate, where you acknowledge everything that's happening here. You acknowledge everything that's happening here. You make the claim. Get it notarized in your proper person. Who's claiming this? Not Reginald Jules. Ku L is claiming this. Ku is claiming this. Ku L. Give me my estate back. Give me my shit back. I'm taking my shit back. Right? I'm not asking. I'm taking my shit back. It's been taken back. It's back already. It's mine. I got it already. All right? To go along, right? And I just made a photocopy. Right? So you don't have no mistake in the matter. So these two together, right, is what you call a perfected claim. Perfected. Right? This is what you're supposed to have to apply for the passport. Authentication, then you got to make your claim in your proper person, because you are not a citizen of the United States. You are a creditor. See, I have proof that I'm a creditor. Not only do I have the mental capacity that where I can stand on my own as a creditor, but then I can actually show you through documentation. Yeah, I'm the creditor. I'm the holder in due course. What's up? I'm the holder in due course. What's up? What do you need? You're not dealing with a minority. You're dealing with majority. Don't think because he's in a costume, right? People might think I'm in a costume. They think I'm a minority. No. I'm majority because I'm actually in honor of my ancestors. That's what grown folks do. They honor where they come from. And they enforce the laws that are put in place to protect them when they're exercising their right to honor who they come from and where they come from. And that is everyone's universal rights. Okay? So we are missionaries, man. But no one can make you that except for self. You gotta self-appoint yourself as that. You gotta proclaim yourself as that. The same way the prophet proclaimed that he is a prophet. Nobody told him he was a prophet. He wasn't waiting on no one to tell him he's a prophet either. So why are you waiting on someone to tell you whether you are more or not? Based on whether you joined this group or club or whatever. Even if you weren't even part of it, does that make you less of a Moor? Does that make you less Moorish American? Okay. All right, y'all. Libra code. I know a lot of y'all may be familiar with the Christian black codes, right? Which is for black people. People who don't have any knowledge of self, who would rather spend their time being fake and not being true to who they are, right? It's called the second document is called the reversion of estate. Okay, so a reversion of estate meaning you just taking the estate back and you're putting it into its proper context. And only thing you're doing is you're acknowledging. All right, it's also known as a deed of acceptance. You're accepting, right, like accepted for value. You're accepting the deed, which is your deed of trust for your estate, which is that all caps name on that birth certificate, which is why you go through the process of authenticating it all the way up to federal. Once you get the seal, the authenticated seal, and you have the full faith and credit, now you are the holder in due course. Okay, you actually have your shares, right, or your interests in the company that your ancestors helped create. For those immigrants who wanted to break away from King George, it's really that simple. We was really, really nice. Not to say not nice. We were really kind in certain aspects, but then in other aspects we were demons. All right, which is why we're getting the backlash we're getting, because a lot of things that we did, we're receiving. We're the karma's coming back around. So, but once you come back into your own, right? It's not hard, y'all. It's not hard to be yourself. That's why the prophet said, "Go to those who know law, speak to them in an intelligent tone, and see if you won't get a favorable reply." See if you won't get a favorable reply. Okay? It's all about knowledge of self. Who are you? Because the world knows who you are. And if someone don't know who you are, that's your opportunity to shed light on something that they didn't know. And it might be very crucial to them to know that there are ancient peoples here called Moors that have been here since time immemorial. There is no time when they were not here. And those are my ancestors. That's where I ascend from. Tell me about it. Okay. Oh, the second document was the a certificate from the Secretary of State of Maryland. Right, I was born in Maryland, so I say my straw was created in Maryland, or my estate. Let's change our language, y'all. From now on, when someone says, "Where were you born?" I think we should respond. Well, this is what I'm going to respond and say: my estate was created in Maryland. This is the language we need to start speaking with. Where were you born? My estate was created in Maryland on October 19th, 1986. You know what I'm saying? Just do it like that. That's how I feel. That feels right and exact and according to law. So, bump that. So right now we're going to go into the Libra Code. All right. A lot of people don't really know too much about the Libra Code, but guess what? We're going to break it down. We're going to break this down, y'all. And yeah, that's about as big as it's going to get. That's cool. The Libra Code of 1863, 7/9/2014. The Libra Code of 1863 correspondence, reports and returns of the Union authorities from January 1st to December 31st, 1863. OR Series, 111 volume, number 3, statute 124. I could tell somebody copied and pasted these, so let me see if I can find better. You know, I'm a perfectionist. There we go. Already. I'm downloading this and putting this right into the library. Bear with me 1 second, y'all. Just get this out of here. Boom. All right. I'll be going to the Libra Code. This is where it's going to get fun. And then I'm going to close out after this, y'all. Exactly. The consumer consider capital. And also, too, you're trading with the enemy. Because you're impersonating a U.S. citizen. And the U.S. citizens are the enemy. So how do you look impersonating an enemy? You rather be an enemy than be yourself. That everybody love, right? So, Libra Code, instructions for the government of armies of the United States in the field. General Orders number 100. Promulgated on April 24th, 1863. 1863 by Abraham Lincoln, as prepared by Francis Lieber, LLD. That's the Libra Code. Okay. Table of contents, martial law, military jurisdiction, military necessity, retaliation. Section 2, public and private property of the enemy, protection of persons, and especially of women, of religion, the arts and sciences, punishment of crimes against the inhabitants of hostile countries, deserters, prisoners of war, hostages, booty on the battlefield. See how good it get? All right, we're going to dig in. Section 1, military law, military jurisdiction, military necessity, retaliation. Article 1. A place, district, or country occupied by an enemy stands in consequence of the occupation under the martial law of the invading or occupying army. Whether any proclamation declaring martial law or any public warning to the inhabitants has been issued or not, martial law is the immediate and direct effect and consequence of occupation or conquest. So just so y'all comprehend what that one says, is that when the Pope put out the edict for the doctrine of discovery, that was martial law. That's what's being said right now. That was martial law. Okay? And so what they're saying too is martial law takes place whether by proclamation or any public warning to the inhabitants. What are inhabitants? Let's look at inhabitants real quick. Let's see here. Inhabitant. Let's look at an inhabitant. One who resides actually and permanently in a given place and has his domicile there. Ex parte. This is the case law. The words inhabitant, citizen, and resident, as employed in different constitutions to define the qualifications of electors, mean substantially the same thing, and one is an inhabitant, resident, or citizen at the place where he has his domicile or home. But the terms resident and inhabitant have also been held not synonymous, the latter implying a more fixed and permanent abode than the former. The latter would be this. All right, meaning an inhabitant is someone who has a more fixed and permanent abode, and a resident is someone who is pretty much temporary, not permanent for the moment. Okay? The latter implying a more fixed and permanent abode than the former, and importing privileges and duties to which a mere resident would not be subject. And importing privileges and duties to which a mere resident would not be subject. Mere resident, right? Mere resident. All right, let's go back here. Y'all with me so far? Let's check. Oh, I'll clear that out. All right, cool. The presence of a hostile army proclaims its martial law. The presence of a hostile country, of a hostile army proclaims its martial law. The presence of them. That's the proclamation. The presence. Last time I checked, China just annexed California. They got military bases now open in California, if y'all didn't know that. So, Article 2. Martial law does not cease during the hostile occupation except by special proclamation ordered by the commander-in-chief or by special mention in the treaty of peace concluding the war, when the occupation of a place or territory continues beyond the conclusion of peace as one of the conditions of the same. You got a treaty of peace and friendship? Do you? Okay. Article 3. Martial law in a hostile country consists in the suspension by the occupying military authority of the criminal and civil law and of the domestic administration and government in the occupied place or territory, and in the substitution of military rule, which is why you got the United States flag with the gold fringe around it. That means it's a military flag. Martial law. And in the substitution of military rule and force for the same, as well as in the dictation of general laws. General laws meaning customary laws, ancient laws. As far as military necessity requires, this suspension, substitution, or dictation. Okay? The commander of the forces may proclaim that the administration of all civil and penal law shall continue either wholly or in part as in times of peace, unless otherwise ordered by the military authority. So just so I know, the military is what's operating the United States. The military. Okay? Since 1863. Article 4. Martial law is simply military authority exercised in accordance with the laws and usages of war. Military oppression is not martial law. It is the abuse of the power which that law confers. As martial law is executed by military force, it is incumbent upon those who administer it to be strictly guided by the principles of justice, honor, and humanity. Yeah, I already know how far that has gone, right? Virtues adorning a soldier even more than other men, for the very reason that he possesses the power of his arms against the unarmed. Article 5. Martial law should be less stringent in places and countries fully occupied and fairly conquered. Much greater severity may be exercised in places or regions where actual hostilities exist or are expected and must be prepared for. Its most complete sway is allowed, even in the commander's own country, when face to face with the enemy, because of the absolute necessities of the case and of the paramount duty to defend the country against invasion. To save the country is paramount to all other considerations. Remember now, if you look up in a law dictionary, a country, the first thing that it pops up is people. So the obligation, which is paramount, is to first defend the country, meaning defend the people, right, which make the country. So now, if you're not indigenous, then you are not the people. Therefore, you are not the country that they have to permit, that they have to protect with a paramount mentality, right? Paramount meaning first, not second, not third, not fourth, first. And also, when they say martial law is exercised more on places where there are more hostilities, so that should let you know that America hasn't been conquered. That's why there's a uprising in the martial law. Article 6. All civil and penal law shall continue to take its usual course in the enemy's places and territories under martial law, unless interrupted or stopped by order of the occupying military power. But all the functions of the hostile government, legislative, executive, or administrative, whether of a general, provincial, meaning province, or local character, cease under martial law or continue only with the sanction or, if deemed necessary, the participation of the occupier or invader. It's pretty much self-explanatory. We shall continue. But let me pull up the tool, see what's going on in the chat. Yep. You're all right, Brother Greg. You're right. Okay. Article 7. Martial law. Martial law extends to property and to persons, whether they are subjects of the enemy or aliens to that government. Let's comprehend it again. Martial law extends to property and to persons, whether they are subjects of the enemy, whether they are subjects of the enemy, whether they are subjects of the enemy or aliens to that government. So martial law extends to property and to persons, whether they are subjects of the enemy or aliens to that government. which is why it's crucial that it's not enough to just declare your nationality. You also have to actually study to know how to navigate these waters, which are under martial law. Okay? So yes, it applies to aliens, and aliens they talk about as immigrants. Immigrants aren't indigenous to these lands. Now, if you was talking about non-immigrant aliens, now that's a whole different scenario. But this doesn't say non-immigrant aliens. It just says aliens. So they're not being very specific, are they? It's very vague. Okay? But from the context, you can already tell. Subjects of the enemy, meaning 14th Amendment citizen. A 14th Amendment citizen is a subject of the United States. And the United States is an enemy to the American states. I didn't know that. Article 8. Oh, and see, we're not an enemy to the government because the government needed our recognition as Moors in order to be established through the treaty. So they owe everything to us. This is why it's paramount to protect us. Article 8. Consuls among American and European nations. I wonder who American nations are, and I wonder who European nations are. Consuls among American and European nations are not diplomatic agents. Nevertheless, their offices and persons will be subject to martial law in cases of urgent necessity. Only their property and businesses are not exempted. Any delinquency they commit against the established military rule may be punished as in the case of any other inhabitant, and such punishment furnishes no reasonable ground for international complaint. Because everything is domestic. That's how they let you know martial law is applying to domesticated peoples. Are you domestic? Are you domestic? And yes, an alien is also a domestic if you're not being specific as to what class of aliens. Because you could be talking about an undocumented alien. You could be talking about a documented alien. But is that alien from a foreign country or is that alien already home? See? The little intricacies you have to know so you don't get fooled by the game. Here we go. Here's the big thing though. No reasonable ground for international complaint. That lets you know you're subject in a domestic jurisdiction because you can't complain internationally about it. But I'll tell you what, indigenous peoples can make international complaints. U.S. citizens can't do that. Number 9, the functions of ambassadors, ministers, or other diplomatic agents accredited by neutral powers to the hostile government cease so far as regards the displaced government, but the conquering or occupying power usually recognizes them as temporarily accredited to itself. Article 10. Martial law affects chiefly the police and collection of public revenue and taxes, whether imposed by the expelled government or by the invader, and refers mainly to the support and efficiency of the army, its safety, and the safety of its operations. So martial law affects chiefly the police and collection of public revenue and taxes. So understand that when cops are pulling people over, highwaymen, they're collecting revenue on behalf of the state. Right? That's martial law. So if you see that in this police state, right, martial law, that people are getting stopped more often, martial law, and more revenue is being collected from them, martial law, and taxes is being collected, martial law. Do you understand why it's better to not pretend to be a U.S. citizen? Why you should just be yourself and be a country that falls under paramount protection under the military? Wouldn't you rather that? But the military know what you look like. They know who you are. They know your habits. They know your customs because they observe what your ancestors left before you. So if you don't acknowledge that, then that's how the military will know you are not who they need to protect. Trust me, I'm pretty sure they got an MO on who's who and what's what. And I'm going to close this out at 12, and I'm going to leave it at that, family, right? Right there. Now, matter of fact, I'm going to close it out on 13. Boom, right? 11. The law of war does not only disclaim all cruelty and bad faith concerning engagements concluded with the enemy during the war, but also the breaking of stipulations solemnly contracted by the belligerents in time of peace, and avowedly intended to remain in force in case of war between the contracting parties. Okay? So what they're saying is the law of war, it doesn't only disclaim all cruelty and bad faith concerning contracts and treaties, but they also disclaim the breaking of stipulations, right? Solemnly contracted by the belligerents in time of peace, meaning contracted by stupid people or ignorant people in times of peace. Still, those holy covenants can't be broken. Okay? 13. Military jurisdiction. Oh, hold on. Nope, I wasn't done with that. Excuse me. I'm still on 11. It disclaims all extortions and other transactions for individual gain, all acts of private revenge or connivance at such acts. Offenses to the contrary shall be severely punished, and especially so if committed by officers. Okay? So no like revenge shit. Like, yo, I got a beef with them, so I'm going to go take out a personal agenda. You can't do that. Article 13. Military jurisdiction is of two kinds. First, that which is conferred and defined by statute. Second, that which is derived from the common law of war. Military offenses under the statute law must be tried in the manner therein directed. But military offenses which do not come within the statute must be tried and punished under the common law of war. The character of the courts which exercise these jurisdictions depends upon the local laws of each particular country. In the armies of the United States, the first is exercised by courts martial, while cases which do not come within the rules and articles of war or the jurisdiction conferred by statute on courts martial are tried by military commissions. Military commissions. And on that note, we're going to look up what military commission is. It's a military commission. Lego, military commission. Military commission is a military court organized in time of war or suspension of the civil power to try offenses by persons not subject to trial by a court martial, meaning they're tried by persons as civilians. You know what a civilian is, y'all? Civilian. A specialist in Roman or modern civil law. One not on active duty in the armed services or not on a police or firefighting force, but a specialist in Roman or modern law. Okay? A specialist. So, I think we Gucci on that so far, family. We Gucci, man. We Gucci. So let me just to see where we at. Let's see here. I appreciate you too, Sister Ivy. Well, family, we have spent a good bill. This has been a great bill. So once again, man, be yourself and stop being fake, yo. Be who you are, which is a Moor, which is an indigenous being to North, South, Central America, and stop pretending to be a United States citizen. It's gonna get you into trouble. Stay out of trouble. All right. You know what I'm saying? Yeah, you're absolutely right. Study, study, study. Show yourself approved. That way you can come amongst your brothers and sisters and we can just break bread. All right. So with that being said, man, we Moors, we're not Negro, blacks, coloreds. We're not U.S. citizens. We haven't naturalized. So don't. Stay true to your mother country, your citizenship, and know how to enforce the Constitution. Specifically, Article 6, right, dealing with our treaties, and Article 3, Section 2, dealing with diversity of citizenship. So on that note, Islam family, love and light, we are missionaries of the Holy Roman, although we're descendants of the Holy Roman Empire too. They all look like us, just so y'all know. We're descendants of the Holy Moorish Empire, specifically emissaries on behalf of Prophet Drew Ali, because we have a mission to uplift fallen humanity and bring all those indigenous Moors back to their proper person, back to their right state of mind. You know what I'm saying? So they can be thinking properly, so they can truly build their legacy and add to our great ecclesiastical Moorish empire, which doesn't have a birthday. So with that, love family, love, truth, peace, freedom, and justice all day, every day. Islam, peace.